Welcome to my YouTube, everyone. I really appreciate it if you've migrated across from my Instagram page. And if you're new here, thank you and welcome. I really found the Instagram Reels were quite limiting in terms of time. Their 1.5 minute format really didn't help me, and I've been making the wrongful assumption as I've been recording reviews that everyone knows some of the notes I'm talking about or some of the terminology. So with my review today, I want to slow it down a little bit and kind of really spend a few moments kind of explaining some of the ingredients, particularly because this one's full of animalic notes. My review today is Nishane Afrika-Olifant. Now, Nishane is a brand that's been around since around 2012. They're from Istanbul in Turkey, and in 2015 they created Afrika-Olifant. As the name might suggest, it's full of animalic ingredients. Obviously, people don't go out killing animals for these notes. It's done synthetically and very beautifully actually with this house. So when we talk about animalic notes, we're talking about anything that has a strong, pungent kind of animalic, musky sort of scent, but we'll get into that a bit later. The top notes of Afrika-Olifant are very resinous. So we're talking about frankincense and myrrh. Both of those are resins from trees, so hardened tree sap. When those are burnt over coals or fire, they release a sensational perfume, an incense basically. The third in the top note is also Labdanum. Now Labdanum, tongue twister there, is derived from the rock rose plant or cistus plant in the Mediterranean basin. In high summer, the leaves kind of secrete this sticky substance, which is highly perfumed. If you ever see photographs of goats in those areas, you'll often see their beards are matted with this sap. And in fact, the ancient Egyptian photographs you see of Tutankhamun's mask or pharaohs who have the long plaited beard under their chin, this was actually these billy goats' beards that had been cut off and plaited and attached to their chin to perfume their body. And I found that a fascinating fact when I first heard it. So Labdanum is kind of collected by raking a big rake over the bushes, and they've sort of got all these leather straps attached to it, and that sort of strap collects that sticky residue which hardens over a bit of time. They scrape it off and then they put it through a process which can extract the perfume. So frankincense, myrrh and Labdanum in the top. The middle notes are Civet. Now civet is derived from the anal glands of a particular cat. I don't know if you've ever traveled to Indonesia or Bali. They have civet poop coffee over there. So lots of civet cats in Indonesia. Yeah, civet's quite strong. Now the funny thing about these kind of poo smelling notes, as human beings and our instinctual physiology and stuff back in the day, obviously we enjoy sex and we're used to being down there, and on a primordial kind of subliminal level, we're very attracted to fecal fragrances. So civet in abundance in here. There's also Castoreum, and Castoreum's harvested from the anal glands of a beaver. Very much the same sort of story as the civet cat. It has also Ambergris. Now Ambergris is one of my favorite notes in perfumery, and I've explored it quite a lot. Ambergris has a slight misconception that it's whale vomit or whale poop, and experts believe it's neither of those. What happens is the whale it's a sperm whale, and it has a particular diet of cuttlefish and other sort of sea creatures, and the cuttlefish have very hard beaks which can get lodged in the whale's intestine. Over time it can't digest this, and a whole bunch of these beaks and things sort of get trapped in the intestinal tract. The whale's stomach secretes a particular secretion that kind of, I guess, softens it or coats it so that it's not quite as abrasive, and over time layers and layers of this secretion build up. In fact, experts believe that this secretion grows so large in size that it actually cuts off the digestive tract of the whale, and ultimately the whale perishes. So when that whale kind of dies in the sea, it's ripped apart by sharks and pecked at by birds and carrion and you name it. And then this big blob is released into the ocean, which floats around for many decades in some circumstances, sort of gathering the smells of the ocean, the saltiness, the balsamic sort of qualities. And that's then washed up onto some beautiful beach in southwest of Western Australia or Mauritius or New Zealand or wherever it might be, and tinctured and made into a perfume. So we have those 3 animalic notes in here, very strong, and there's also leather and oud. Now, oud is a word that's been bandied about in perfume circles for 10 or 15 years, and most people are aware of what it is. But for those of you who are watching who aren't really sure, oud is the heartwood of the Agarwood tree. So that lovely, fresh kind of central part of the tree trunk. What they do is that they kind of infect this particular species of tree with a virus or a fungus, and the tree produces an immune response, let's call it that, by pouring sap and juices, all of its resources, into protecting that heartwood. And as a result, it becomes firm, it becomes almost crystallized with this sap, and this is what is harvested and collected as oud. In the Middle East, they burn chips of this heartwood over fire or over coal discs to, perfume their home or whatever it might be. And obviously it's been tinctured or made into perfume. So oud is in here too. It's a really, really heavy hitting animal fragrance. It really does give a sense of a beast. It's strong, it's very, its projection is incredible, it's very diffusive. If anyone ever experienced and fell in love with Mona de Orio's Nuit Noire back in the day before she perished, she created this fragrance. And it's still available today, but the very original version had a sense of what I get here in Afrika-Olifant. It's a wonderful kind of diffusive, mysterious, seductive fragrance. It doesn't rate very highly in the Nishane portfolio amongst niche fans, but I think it deserves a lot more love. This one in the summertime is so incredibly, I wouldn't say overwhelming, but so incredibly bold, it can't help but be noticed. When I've worn this, I've been complimented. When I've discussed this with friends or sprayed it on them for a first time, they've sort of gone, oh wow, that's really, smells like poo. But then they understand that as it dries down, it's just fabulous. So anyway, that's Afrika-Olifant. I hope you enjoyed that little run through. I will be posting more reviews here to my YouTube channel, so if you're new or if you've followed me over, I'd really love it if you'd hit the subscribe button. You'll be notified when new videos go up. And leave your comments below too. I want to hear your favourite Nishane fragrances or your favourite animalic fragrances. I love to read these sort of comments, so hit the bell, get down there and leave your comments, and I'll see you very soon with my next review.